to. Waiting for Instagram to kick in. They've kicked in. Alright, so this is a low-key martial art video. It's going to be more of a life lesson versus a demonstration because, as you can see, I'm in a very small area. Instagram has just paused. Alright, but I'm in a very small area. There is limited movement and limited mobility. So I have to limit my range. This is where becoming a martial artist is very important. I have a big problem down here. I have not much, if any, mobility. As a short person, technically, I'm in the best shape for this kind of position. Because I am short, because I don't have a lot to work with, I don't have a lot of space on my body. I don't have to worry about trying to throw high kicks while I am down here. While I am down here, foot sweeps with my foot, I'm not going to do that here because there literally is no room. But I would have to adjust and then do the foot sweep as an option. If they're coming this way, I have to get into a position where they have to come down to hit me, which is where gravity is going to work more for me than against me. As you can see, I do have my trusty bow. There's just one problem. Don't have much space to use this thing without it getting in the way. The other bow, still a problem. I have nowhere to really go. I got a triangle that I can't protect myself, but there's still no maneuverability. So this is why I'm making this video. You have to understand, there are a lot of things that come with martial arts. And to everyone who's always focused on weapons training, you fail to understand the one thing that is always going to be essential and true to any martial art. You are the only weapon that matters. You're the only weapon that matters. You have to understand how physics works. You have to understand how body mechanics work. You have to understand that down here in this pit, there is very little movability. Alright? And that having a lot of movability or maneuverability, I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a Virginia accent. Shit happens. My tongue slurs sometimes. Anyway, now having a lot of mobility, let's call it mobility, now having a lot of mobility in a small spot puts you and your opponent at risk of serious injury, possibly unaliving yourselves by trying to fight someone. See, if I'm taller than you and I'm coming down and I throw a kick and you're right here, the advantage is you because you have a downhill advantage. They have to kick down at you. If they're tall and they're kicking at a high level, it still puts you at the advantage, especially if you're short like me. Boom, boom, where they have steps. It's hard to adjust on steps. Trust me. It is very hard to adjust in a fight on steps. It is very hard to mind your step because one wrong step on a pair of steps and you're going to be going to Jesus. So, you know, if they're here, enjoy the view of my ass. When they're here, they have options, but they're not really good options. If they throw a punch, they're off gravity. You see how I'm off? See how at the edge of the step? Yeah, that was not done on purpose. It's just that my foot are only so big and the stairs are only so big. The punch, I'm using momentum and gravity to swing down at someone who's already got a downhill advantage. Yes, don't go with the high ground like Star Wars. That shit's a myth. Downhill is a little bit easier to take advantage of because most people are top heavy. Most men are top heavy. Very few men are bottom heavy, but most people are top heavy. So when they're swinging down, you have the advantage of gravity plus their weight plus how much they got foot-wise. So if they're throwing a kick, for instance, they're throwing this round kick, but they're up here. So they have to aim down. Your positioning is block the kick and strike groin, block, break, pull, block, break, pull, and kick. So since their legs are already split, you can break both legs at the same time. Alright? The reason that being, they're throwing a round kick. So that's this. Alright? You see where my positioning is here? So if I throw this round kick, if you can't even see the kick, But I'm throwing a round kick. So you know what a round kick looks like? It's this. So they're going to push one hand here, grab the calf, and snap. As they do that, they still have my leg so they can pull. If I'm not cognizantly aware of throwing a punch at them while they're pulling me, they're going to put their other leg into this knee from this side. So that'll look like boom. You know, they're pulling at the same time. You know, so they're going to break my shit. But since I'm going downhill, I have to aim my kicks properly. So I won't throw a full-on round kick. I'll just test the water a little bit because I have one step. And one wrong step means I'm dead meat. Now, if I'm fighting them from down here, I want to be on the defensive more than the offensive. Alright? So if they're throwing kicks, block, 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 I'm making them work harder because they have to come down. And I'm already short. So that's working for me versus against me. I'm only 5'3.5". So if they're like anywhere between 5'8" and 10, you know, they still have to kick down. They're a little bit taller than me, so they're going to have to work. And while working, if they're coming to throw kicks at me, if I'm right here and they're right here, they're on 4 sets of steps. So they have to adjust. I just have to keep stepping back, which means they have to deal with these 4 steps. So unless they throw a flying dragon kick, which I can sidestep and slam them into the wall, or I can slam them this way, or I can grab them and throw them this way because they're in the air, which makes it easier for me not to have to exert any kind of strength whatsoever because we're just going to use their momentum. Wham! I slam them against things. Now you also see there is a walker here. There's some sticks. There's some death reefs. There's some chairs. These are a very important thing too because you have to know your environment. Alright? I do have a walker of my own. This is not mine. But I had a hip replacement. My walker's in the shade. Go ahead, laugh it up. Yes, I was 42 years old. I was walking with a walker. It happens. But there are defenses that you can use these things on. Might not be able to close this bitch. So, you know, you have a shield with this. Alright? You have a shield. So, it's just a matter of your training and your ability to adapt in a fight. And you have a shield this way. You know, you don't want it this way unless you're going to open it and keep it open. But if you're going to fight this way, you know, you got 4 objects down there that you can use. You can trap them in here. You want to trap them in here, though, because that screw's going to tear their ass a new one. But, you know, learning how to fight with your environment, learning how to fight within your environment, all that shit's going to come into play. You need to be able to adapt, okay? So one thing's for damn sure is that down here, I have the downhill advantage. I do not have the uphill advantage. I am not Anakin Skywalker, and I'm not stupid. But the downhill advantage has a disadvantage also, depending on who you are fighting. If a taller person is right here, and I'm up there, the situation just got flipped. Understand? Because everything I just said I can do to the tall person who's up here, now that person's in the control factor. So I'm up here, and I'm throwing round kicks. I gotta readjust. I'm not stable. You see what I'm saying? I'm not stable. If I'm up here, I'm still not stable because I'm on the steps. Now, I slip and go into this wall. He can kick my leg can go into the wall. I can't do anything hardcore. I can't position myself for that. See, I have no balance. You understand? You learn from failing. So don't fall. And don't fail at this position because you're a dead man. If someone is taller down here, you can't fight their fight. You're going to have to bring them up. You know? So they're throwing a round kick, which would be at your leg here. You want to either do a Muay Thai block, like here, or you want to kick their leg as they're kicking. So you want to try and kick in the kneecap, or just below the kneecap, because they're throwing a round kick, which is a front round kick from Taekwondo, or any front round kick like this. You're putting yourself at the risk of gravity, but you want them to come to you now. Now, if you're down here, you're good. because they have to come down here. But if you're trying to fight them, you want them to come up there if you're up here. Because, again, from this side, I'm going down. If they decide to get smart, block, grab, slam. I'm against the wall, block, slam. Throw me over. There's a lot of things you can do from down here. Small quarters combat must be taught as well. And if you're not taught small quarters combat, and you want me to make more videos about small quarters combat, I'm going to actually have to find a place that has a tighter spot than this. Because the tighter the fight, the advantage is probably going to go to the shorter person. I know that sounds biased, but let's figure this out. Alright? I'm 5'3.5". Straight. 5'3.5". I'm a $125. Flat out. $125. I got the fight right here because there's nowhere for the big person to maneuver. Alright? They can maneuver, but it ain't gonna be easy. I have gravity on my side. I have momentum on my side. Now, I have gravity because they have to come down to hurt me. On the downside of that, if I take the offensive from here, I have to go up to hurt them, which would not work in my favor because I have to punch up, and they still have to deal with adjusting to the steps and gravity, where I have to adjust with, I need to hit this motherfucker right, or I'm going to get hurt. And the thing about fighting is no matter how that fight starts, you're both going to be hurt. You're both going to get a little beat up. But the victor goes the spoils because I'm not going to fight stupid. Right? I'm down here. I got victory written all over my face, but shit can go wrong in a fight. Remember that. Shit can go wrong in a fight. You see where my stomach is? Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you that same round kick that I talked about, but let's do it a little bit more intelligently. So you're going to imagine that I'm still right here, and sadly you're going to get a good view of my ass. Alright, so right here, now I'm the other guy. So if I'm right here, or right there, and this guy's here, he can switch off. Instead of throwing a round kick, he can just do a side kick and low angle that shit. Sorry about that. He also can do a double side kick, because I'm short. So you see, that would hit me here and hit me here, and if he did a triple side kick, boom, 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 he slams me back into here. Now he takes the fight because there's nothing keeping him on the steps. You understand? This is because I went on the offensive instead of the defensive. When you're down in a lower spot, you always want to try to take the defensive. You don't want to really take the offensive because shit can go wrong. But if I'm on the offensive and he's right here trying to come up, and I throw a kick, he can still block the kick and pin my leg against the wall. And if he's smart, he can block the kick and return the kick so that he can still be sturdy on that one step that he's on. So he's like, block and then strike. Which means my leg's there, my body's right here, boom, boom. Or, boom, and then a hook kick. Or if he wants to Van Damme that shit. So, there's many things he can do. This is why I said you want to be on the defensive. Because if you're down here, you can block all damn day. Literally, you can block all day. And there'll be nothing he can do. Hold on, my nose is running. I gotta get a tissue. Sorry about that. Anyway, when you're on the defensive end, you have a better chance of surviving. Especially when you're down in a little tiny ass spot down here. Now also, I don't want to really try to bring weapons into this thing because you just don't know how that shit's gonna play out. But also, a weapon is an advantage that can be taken from you at any time if you don't know what you're doing. So you kind of want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Back to what I was saying. I'm down here, I'm on the defensive. Everything he's throwing, I'm blocking. He's up here. Everything he throws needs to be with precision. I don't recommend round kicks because I'm short and I can block them. They're coming to my head. I really don't recommend side kicks unless you plan on throwing like some serious doubles and triples. You know, so if you kick me, boom, I'm stupid enough to come back. So then you hit me with a double. Or then you hit me with a triple. I'm sure you guys didn't see that. Let's angle you right there. That's bad. And that's bad. Sorry. Real sorry about that. So if you're going to throw like a triple, and I'm there, you probably still can't fucking see it. So I'll come up a step. So if you're going to throw a triple, boom, 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 boom. Oh, damn, I cannot count. Don't do that. Triple, 3, not 5. So 1, 2, 3. You know, so if you're going to kick me, like say the first kick hits me, boom, low, and then back high, and I'm falling. So first kick, boom. If I step up, boom, and then you kick me back. So it's limiting my space. But while you're up here on steps, you're the one in the most danger because you're kicking down, and I'm short. See, if you look at my height towards this door, I'm really short. I'm actually only 5'3.5". So if you're kicking down and I block this way, I can step up now and push you off. Which there's concrete and other things. By the time you hit the ground, I'm going to be on top of you. Just know that. So when you throw an axe kick and I block with an X block, X-Men. Anyway, I block and I push up. When I push up, before your body hits that ground, I'm going to be on top of you. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to kick you. One of the two. If I push up and your body's just laid back, I can level you. And I'm going to kick you right there in the back of your spine. I'm going to do everything I can to fuck your shit up. And as you see, on the stairs, I'm coming down. I got to work with gravity. See how? You can't see. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, so I have to come down. You see how my legs are, I got to bend? I'm completely off balance. If I was to get hit by somebody from the back, I'm a damn sure that didn't come out right at all. If someone was to attack me from the back when I'm throwing a punch down at somebody that's down there, it's a good chance that I'm going to go right off. You know, and you have to be aware of that shit when you're fighting in close quarters. Damn it! Damn it! This can't keep happening. This is pissing me off. I'm sorry. Whew, almost missed a step. So, you know, your kicks and spaces, you have to know where you are and know what kick to throw. Alright? A lot of times, the fancy shit is not going to happen right here. You're not going to do tornado kicks. You're not going to do jumping spin kicks. You're not going to do any foot sweeps because there's nowhere for you to go. You know, I understand fighting at close quarters. It's called close quarters for a reason. If both of us is down in this little gully here, now we got even more problems. Because now we can't do much more than gung fu kicks, like to the lower area. Or is it southern or northern Shaolin that's only low kicks to the shin? I don't remember which one it is. But that's pretty much where we are. Yeah, we're going to foot dance. We're going to kid and play the shit out of it. But we're not going to really be able to do a lot of shit. Now, if we're throwing elbows, we're blocking elbows, and we're throwing knees, you know, we can do that. We're in close quarters. But we're going to get tired. Because one of us is going to get hit eventually. One of us is going to get hit either in the face, come in, boom, boom, somebody's going to get hit eventually. I might fuck up. I might forget, instead of throw an elbow, I might throw a left hook to this side of your face where crack, boom, boom. Now you've taken control. Bam, bam, slam up against the wall. Why are you slamming against the wall? Because the fucking wall is right there. It's just that simple. This entire environment just became my hellscape. It just became my death note. Maybe open up the door, slam me into it when I come in, boom, hit me with the door. As I come down, just snatch the bitch open. You gotta wait for me to make a move, you throw the kick, catch the damn door, slam my leg into the door. Now I'm all busted up in here. Learning how to fight with your environment, learning close quarters, these things are important. I'm surprised other martial artists haven't brought this shit up. Oh, I forgot. They're more famous than me. So they don't think about the realities of actual fighting. But that's okay. Because I'm going to tell you the truth and you're not going to like it and it's all good. But I want to make sure that you understand that in a fight, before anything goes right, something is bound to go wrong. Y'all probably don't want to hear that shit and that's fine. But I would rather tell you the truth so that you would know versus thinking that, hey, I'm an ace. Every time I get into a fight, I know how I'm going to survive that shit. No, you don't. Because what you think up here doesn't always translate here. It doesn't always translate here, or here, or here, or here. It doesn't. Because your opponent is thinking the same shit or different, and he's either thinking it really brutally, or he's thinking it really nicely. So maybe he doesn't want to fight you. Maybe somebody goaded him into this shit. And now he knows that the only way that he can fucking win this fight is that he's going to have to unalive your shit because you're just that good. Or maybe you fucking suck and he might show you mercy. You will never know how good you are until you are actually in combat. And I don't give a fuck who you follow. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about this shit that I'm saying. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. Everybody thinks they're good. Everybody. Everybody thinks they're good until they find out you're not that good. You're good enough to use it, and sometimes it works on some people. But everybody has different styles. And if you can't adapt, you're not going to do capoeira right here. Alright? Straight up. You're not going to... There's barely enough space for you to do anything. You will get away with Muay Thai. You will definitely get away with Muay Thai because you ain't using nothing but forearms and knees. You're going to get away with that because this is a tight quarter. And if you go watch any Muay Thai fight, watch when they get in the corner. Watch when they get in that corner. When they're up against the ropes, it's fair game. But when they trap that opponent in that corner, you watch them knees go to work. And you watch them knees and them close body shots and them uppercuts, watch them bitches go to work. And them elbows and them forearms, watch them go to work. And then come back and think about what I just said about this shit right here. Because you're doing Thai fighting, boom, you block elbows and forearms. Those are blocks, but they're also strikes. Understand? Because Muay Thai got a little bit of Kempo knowledge up in that son bitch. Because if I slam this and you're coming up and I hit you right square dead in the femur, you're going to want to take that back down a bit. By the time you take your leg back down, I done struck you again. Probably with that same fucking elbow. And right across your fucking jaw. Or at least your cheek line. I'm going to hit you somewhere and pray that I knock you out or break your fucking neck. So, you got to understand. Those are protective blocks and strikes. Alright? So if you throw in a punch, boom, and I block that bitch, or boom, and I strike back, or boom, I block and I block. As long as I'm throwing blocks while you're up on those steps, I'm good all day. I'm good all fucking day. I don't really have to do anything until I want to go home. So if you're throwing kicks, and I'm blocking, if I catch your foot and I sweep that son bitch, and you fall on them steps, you're probably going to hit your head. You're probably going to the hospital. But if you throw a kick and I block and break that bitch, boom, sweep your foot or break and pull and break your other leg at the same fucking time, I've taught you some shit that I probably shouldn't have been teaching you just now. But rather you want to believe it or not, it's a whole other ballgame. It's a lot easier to break an elbow than it is to break a wrist. Alright? People don't want to hear that. People don't want to believe it, and that's fine. To those people, fuck you. Pressure points do work if done properly. If I'm going to break any part of your leg, I'm going to break your knee. I'm not going to break your femur. I'm not going to break your calf or whatever this muscle is called. Fuck that shit. This bitch right here is a joint. Wherever there's a joint, there's a pressure point, and sometimes there's a fucking artery. So I'm going for what I know is kill zones. You can call them whatever you want. I'm going to call them what they are. If you're throwing a round kick and I snap that bitch, which means this part of my arm is on this part of your leg. This part of my arm is on the back of your leg. Your kneecap is made to do one thing. Go this way. If I make your ass like those creatures in that Charlie Sheen movie, The Arrival, where your arms look like, your legs look like chicken legs and shit, you gotta know your standing capability just got fucked up. You know? And that ain't the only thing that's gonna get fucked up. I'm not gonna stop if I break one leg. I'm gonna break the other leg. Then I'll break your fucking elbows. And yeah, people are gonna say, hey, that's too brutal. That's too hardcore. Do you think that son of a bitch that's fighting you gives a shit about what you think is brutal and what's hardcore when they're fighting you? When you are defending yourself, the guy on the other end of that arm that has that fist attached to it don't know you and don't give a fuck. And as soon as you realize that, you're going to go and take my fucking advice. Break his elbow, break his kneecap. He can't stand, he can't fight, but he can still fuck you up if you don't do it right. I understand that shit. The only way a person cannot really truly fight is if they're not breathing. Alright? Which means they've either been knocked the fuck out or they're not dead. I'm sorry if that offends anybody who's teaching martial arts on the internet. I'm sorry if you're following martial artists that aren't telling you this shit because getting hit in the face fucking sucks. Getting hit in joints hurt. Having a person put you in a fucking Yuganagi or any fucking armbar fucking hurts. Triangles, they hurt. Having your neck wrapped in somebody's legs fucking hurt. Being put in a chokehold hurts. They're not explaining that this shit happens in fights. If you swing this way and I, by the grace of God, get away from it and break your arm and you go down and I grab you and put you in a chokehold and step on your knee. So now you're stretched. Your arm's out here. My arm is either under your backside or around your throat, but you're in a choke hold. Alright? If I break your arm and put you in a Yuganagi or a Fujiwara and whatever the fuck else the other Japanese name is that I can't pronounce, that's 3 different damn arm locks right there. That if I fuck your arm up and I fuck your leg up, you're 2 weapons down. But if I shut down the entire system by hitting you in the sternum, where your lungs and your belly actually is up here, or if I hit you in the throat, which shuts down everything, I'm pretty sure I'm going to walk away with a victory. Now here's the trick to that. I have to get through your defenses. If your block game is the shit, my offense game needs to fucking improve big time. How many martial arts are you following that are telling you this shit? Probably none of them. Because I'm 48. And I know what the fuck I'm talking about because although I've never been in a professional fight, I've been in enough street fights from the age of 6 to 12 to tell you how to fuck somebody's shit up. Whether you choose to do it or believe what I say, that's on you. That becomes a you problem. It doesn't become a me problem because here's the reality. If I have to beat you, I'm going to make sure that I break you. That way when you think about revenge, or if you think about coming back for another round, or if you think about, you know, I got lucky or whatever. Maybe I got lucky, but I'm the one still standing. The question is, are you willing to forfeit your life twice to prove that you're a badass? See, the thing about being a badass, most badasses never have to prove they are a badass to themselves. They don't have to prove it to other people. I'm one of the people, I'm not a badass, but I can fuck your shit up. It's just that simple. I don't need to be a badass to fuck you up. Badasses have been beaten before by people who are worse martial artists than me. And I mean literally can barely throw a punch. Badasses, there's that any given Sunday rule and shit happens. You know, freak accidents happen. And that automatically upgrades that guy who beat that badass's style to a badass. Because now everybody like, alright, you hear the Undertaker say it all the time. I ain't bad, but the bad don't fuck with me. Yeah. That's exactly what can happen. You might have been a badass until you got fucked up by somebody else who was a badass. You know, that's just the way the world works. So if you're running around, chest all puffed out, pounding and thinking that you the baddest motherfucker since sliced bread, you're going to come across that motherfucker that ain't the baddest. that ain't the best of the best. And that will be the motherfucker that Riddick Bowe's the shit out of you. Or, as I like to say it, because only one man's ever really beat Mike Tyson. Sorry, Evander, it wasn't you. That motherfucker was... the fuck was his name? He's the one that handed Mike his first name. His name is James something. The fuck is that bastard's name? I had his name before I started talking. Anyway, it's not Riddick Bowe, because Riddick Bowe beat that guy. The fuck is his name? Anyway, the guy Riddick Bowe beat Mike Tyson. Alright? I still, to this day, don't believe that shit happened. I still believe it was just like a freak accident. But Buster Douglas, that was his fucking name. His name was James Buster Douglas. So, Buster Douglas was not the best boxer. And at that time, Mike Tyson was. This is why I said that, because I got mad respect for Mike Tyson. Buster Douglas got everybody respect after that fight. And then he lost to Riddick Bowe. Only for Riddick Bowe to have 2 or 3 rounds, and then he lost the fucking title. You understand? When Tyson had that title, Tyson was a death machine. It took somebody who was just a wheel in a cog, and who got very fucking lucky. And you gotta remember how many times Riddick Bowe went down, and the referee just kept the fight going. You know? And if you study enough of these boxers, you understand a lot of the boxers that are champions always try to knock a motherfucker out in the first round. Now, you're probably asking why I brought that up. I want to make a serious point with that. This is why your cardio is important. If you remember the very first Rocky lost. But he had one saying before he ended the movie or whatever. He said, I really didn't fight this because I knew I could win. I just wanted to see if I can go the distance. And that's what's going to make you or break you in a fight. If you are a really good fighter, but you can't go the distance because you're not long-winded, you're going to run into that one motherfucker who can go the distance. And that's how Riddick Bowe and Buster Douglas won their fights. Now, I'm not saying Mike was out of shape. Mike was not out of shape. Buster Douglas got lucky as fuck. Whatever horseshoe or unicorn he had up his ass that day was that day the day. No. And then after that, Mike's career kind of went downhill, and then he bit off Holyfield's ear, which was like really fucked up. But if you watch the clip, the referee was playing favorites, and Mike was not his favorite. Yeah, go back and watch it for those young enough to remember, or in my case, those old enough to remember. Go back and watch that shit. But this is the most important part of this video. You need to have your cardio straight. You need to be in as much physical and mental shape as you can possibly be. Having self-confidence is great. Being cocky is okay, but being cocky can lead you to an ass whooping. You got to understand the difference. There's nothing wrong with having self-confidence. You don't have time for doubt, but always understand. You can't beat everybody. Now, people used to tell me this all the time. And now this is where I become a hypocrite. Because I can beat everybody. You know why I can beat everybody? Because of my one true saying. I don't have to beat you to kill you. That's the thing people don't understand. Everything I just showed you was lethal ordnance. Breaking elbows, breaking kneecaps, those are lethal ordnance. Those are rarely taught in dojos now. I was blessed. I'm Generation X. We didn't have too many rules that we had to follow outside of don't kick them in the nuts and don't try to do the super ninja fucking flat palms of the nose shit. Everything else we were taught, especially when I took Kempo. Break an elbow, break a collarbone. These are joints, but they are pressure points. They are also arteries in there. I've showed you in a video about how if you can see all this shit move when I hold my arm. Let's see if I can do it again. For everybody watching, watch my arm. See right there? Watch it twitch. Okay, now watch this. See my hand? See all that shit rippling right there. You stop the flow of blood to the hand. There is no fist. You can't make a fist. You can't punch me in the fucking face but one fucking time. Providing that I'm strong enough and tough enough to get up when I get hit. Notice I said when I get hit. Because no matter who you are, no matter how much of a badass you think you are, if you get through a fight one time without getting hit, I can almost guarantee you the next fight, somebody's going to hit you. Because you're going to overthink yourself. Oh, I didn't get hit not one time in that last fight. Motherfucker came in, bam, I dropped him. I dropped him like a sack of shit. It was awesome. That next guy you might fight might have a little bit more fighting experience than the guy whose ass you dropped. Hell, it could happen in the same day, back to fucking back. That guy might have been studying your moves the whole time and just decided, okay, now I know what this motherfucker got. He got jab, jab, uppercut. He got jab, jab, cross. He switched styles, jab, jab, uppercut, jab, jab, cross, jab, 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 uppercut. I know what his hands can do. Let's see what his feet can do. His feet, he always moving. He's going from southpaw to standard to southpaw. He's going from karate to kung fu to Wing Chun. I'm studying him. I'm watching how he beat that other guy's ass. So when I get up on him, my plan's already set. He's gonna fucking make a mistake. I watched him make a mistake when the guy tried to kick at him and he broke his leg, but he ain't do something else. You know, something that I might have missed off when I said break the leg, pull and sweep. Or break the leg and break the other leg within the same amount of time between the striking distance of his arm times gravity times I broke his leg, but I'm still open to him attacking me, which is why I said break and kick. Yeah, because you want to do damage as much as you can. And also break testicles. Yeah, that was a closer kick than trying to kick the other knee. Now when I kick and break his leg, if I kick him in the testicles after I break his leg, he's going to automatically bend over. He automatically bend over, boom, boom, I need to be on his ass. His leg's broken. That's no longer an option. Not for him, not for me. Now I need to eat his ass alive with my fist. Or hit, knee, knee, knee. It's brutal. I'm sorry. But the God honest truth is, if you gotta fight, you gotta fight to survive. And if somebody's attacking you, God forgive me, deal with the legal ramifications later. Deal with the right here and now, right there and now. When this person is attacking you and you break his leg and you kick him in the testicles, this goes down, this grabs him, and then you drive a knee to his face, to his chest, to his belly, wherever you can find a target, you hit it. And if you doing this, he's trying to stop you, break his arm. When you break his arm, slam his head into the concrete. He's not invincible. I'm not invincible. No man on earth, to my knowledge, is bulletproof. So you have to understand how that shit works. Body mechanics are important. Your arm is built to go this way. It don't go but so far that way. And when you break that elbow, it's going to look like that. It's not this anymore. It's that, but back here. I understand you're doing lethal ordnance. I'm 5'3.5". I am not the guy to fuck with. Because I'm not fighting you for victory. I'm fighting you to fuck your shit up. I'm a little guy. Everybody thinks they can beat my ass. Everybody. So I can't be fucking around. If I gotta fight you, I gotta make sure that I end you. I gotta make sure that when it's done, we ain't shaking hands. You're gonna remember who the fuck I am, and when you see me on the street, you're gonna know. I'm not fucking with that guy no more. And we're good. After that, I'm not gonna bother you no more either. But, you know, you always got that one. This is why you have to understand. Your cardio got to be up. Your mental training got to be up. And your physical training got to be up. They all have to work in unison. When I tell people, if you can only get this in for your training, then you get that in. And I'm expecting a phone call. Hold on. What do you want?